Welcome back to the Packers Corner. We got one fresh, hot off the presses here before we can even update the ticker. Packers get it done easily against the Saints. And a Merry Christmas Eve might be all the way up to Christmas Eve by the time this one hits the wire here. But we will jump into a little breakdown of the Saints and look forward towards the Packers-Vikings impending matchup, which is looming after the intro.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
It was named after Vince Lombardi. You play in Green Bay. As important as it is to any other team, it means more to us.
When he walked into the meeting, he looked us right in the eye. He said, "Gentlemen, we're going to relentlessly chase perfection."
My first thought was, on any play with my arm strength, I may not let anybody know this, but my first thought was home run.
On every play.
On every play.
He did what?
Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No!
Gentlemen, we got it done here. Packers get the W. Schmitty, you're looking awfully warm over there with all the clothing. Are you feeling all warm inside after another Packers W here this evening?
Griffey, the eve of Christmas, Festivus for some that celebrate. It is the airing of grievances, my friend, and there's not much to talk about as far as grievances go. This was a ho-hum celebratory. Everyone did the four-finger salute even well before kickoff. Everyone knew what the outcome was going to be. The Packers just had to show up, and to our delight, they show up, and they put on a great performance. Matt LaFleur's been talking about all three phases. He hasn't seen it all year. Could we do it? I hope that this checks all three boxes finally for the man, because I think we did it. We shut the Saints out. It hasn't happened all year. No team has gone with 0 points once the clock struck zero. So the Packers seemingly did it in all three phases tonight. I think everyone was pretty pleased with the performance. If you did want to talk about a couple of grievances, I guess we could get into the stat line of Jordan Love. But beyond that, this team looked really good. And Griffey, McManus, the guy that we've been asking for well before this season started, those first few weeks when we needed a kicker, this guy has shown up and done magical things for us. Like Griffey is the Elmer's glue, the Gorilla Glue, not Elmer's glue, that nonsense kindergarten crap. We got the Gorilla Glue for this Packers team now, and McManus's leg drills a 55-yarder in 25-degree weather. So just an absolute phenomenal performance all around. Everyone should be excited. You had Edgerrin Cooper flying around. You can't say enough about Keyshawn Nixon and what he does for our team. I'm just thoroughly impressed. This is where you want to be going into week 17.
I tried to update the ticker at the bottom of the screen here. I hope the folks will forgive me. It's too fresh. We got no stats down there now, but we'll have to persevere nonetheless. Dad, as far as grievances go, I feel like you might want to focus on the Jordan Love performance. I just have that vibe from you. Am I correct in my presumption there?
I don't know if I need psychiatric care or what the problem is. I mean, it's joy to the world. The Lord has come unto this day. A child is born, a light come into the world. It's the dawn of redeeming grace. And Jordan Love needs a lot of redeeming grace because this team is ready to be a Super Bowl contender if we can get a quarterback to hitch up his britches when we're averaging 5 yards a run, gash, and we miss crossing pattern, miss a wide open Watson wide open for a touchdown, check it down to the tight end for a 10-yard gain when we got a touchdown. We got Watson on a flag pattern early in the game, wide open down the field. I don't know if Jordan has gotten so conservative about not throwing interception that he's not seeing the field. I'm worried. We talked earlier, Griff, in the week, PA made this preposterous statement that he would take Sam Darnold ahead of Jordan Love. And as of tonight, and you heard me during the week, I was pretty peeved about it. I'm not so sure he isn't right. I'm just not seeing it from Jordan. This is, to me, this is a D+ performance when you got to be there. The good grief, Schmitty. Malik Willis comes in and pins up a guy, Jaden Reed, on a crossing bet and makes it look like Tom Brady. And Jordan Love is like a scatterbrained shotgun shooter out there. So, yeah, I don't know what to do with myself. 34-0, 11-4. The kicker is a revelation. The defense, Edrin Cooper, Jordan Love. This team is ready to go all the way. You need to raise your game up to match the rest of the team.
Well, I just have to paint a picture of collectively where we're at as a group here, because I feel like we stood alone, the three of us, in the midst of despair last season. Well, Schmitty maybe got to the point where he didn't think the team was going to do very well. He thought we weren't going to win a game the rest of the year after the Broncos lost. Maybe a little hyperbole. But all of us were in unison saying Jordan Love is not the problem. We had hope. We maintained hope. And then we felt really good about our faith there as we saw what he did in the second half of the season last year. I got to say, I feel a little bit more nervous about Jordan Love than I did at any point in the year last year. Is there, reason for that anxiety, Schmitty? Is that out of place?
No, I think you guys both make excellent points. It's the way that Goody has put this entire piece together. If you looked at one of the graphics tonight, he is responsible for 51 of the 53 active roster players on the team right now. And Jordan Love is the main cog of this whole thing. And so you're impressed with a lot of the performances that you're getting out of third, fourth, fifth round draft picks. But Jordan Love, the guy that you moved up into the first round for while you still had an MVP quarterback at the helm of the franchise, to make a move like that. And then now you, me, and the Packers corner faithful are questioning if Jordan Love is actually the guy. PA actually might have a good debate on his hands here with who's the better quarterback. I think I would rank Sam Darnold and Jordan Love ahead of Jared Goff at this moment, and maybe Sam Darnold is the best quarterback in the NFC North at this very time.
Well, give me your order there, Schmitty. I don't know if I followed you. You'd have Goff and Darnold ahead of Love?
No. I would say Goff is behind the two. That you would want Darnold number one, then Jordan, and then Goff afterwards.
I mean, the man just threw for 494 and 5 touchdowns against the Buffalo Bills. That's tough one for me to palate. But where does Kirk Cousins fall in the mix for you at the moment?
Kirk Cousins, Griffey, the guy's not even playing right now. What are we talking about?
You said don't tempt me with a good time the last time we brought Kirk up.
Griffey, Kirk Cousins is a nice man. I've met him in person. He's a very fine gentleman. He has a little bit of his golf game could use a little work. He'll find a job next year. Don't you worry. Someone will decide to pay him. He does do things well in the NFL. He is very serviceable, and that matters. That carries some weight, especially if you got a rookie quarterback and you want to mold them. Just like we have with Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers connection, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. So Kirk Cousins, now that he's getting into the later stage of his career, he certainly has that capability to show a youngin the right and wrongs of being an NFL franchise quarterback. Well, so don't disparage him, please.
I won't disparage him or you anymore. I just had to give you a little taste of it there. Now, we did win 34-0, Dad. What encourages you moving forward?
The running game has to be tremendously encouraging. If you want a stat line, I took a quick look. This is going to be close. Jordan Love is 12 completions, guys. 12 for 28, 184 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. We rushed for 200 yards, 194 yards. We've got about 8 guys who rushed the football. Bo Melton, Jaden Reed, all three running backs, the tight end, Tucker Kraft, the quarterback, two quarterback rush for 200 yards. The defense is playing well. I don't even know what you can tell for sure about this game. The Saints are a college team out there, a third string NFL team. They got nobody playing, so it was good. The kicker did his job. That has to make you feel good. And I want to make it clear. I think Jordan Love is the guy. It seems like he's gotten to a point where he's so cautious. He's not seeing it and letting it rip. Like LaFleur talked about. It's like he's seeing it, double checking it. Then is it there? Isn't it there? How did he miss Watson on that? All you got to do is stay with that a half a tick longer. Schmitty, you got to be able to see that if you're an NFL. There's something going on with his processing. And I see other plays where Watson, if I was Watson, I mean, I'd be, I don't know, pretty disappointed that my quarterback isn't looking for me there. So, hopefully, guys, next week, Jordan shows up. I think he's kind of guy who's going to come in and say, I was horrible. I got to be better. And I think he's going to get coached up. And so hopefully he comes in and plays the ball game next week. The good thing is, gentlemen, next week is not critical to win. A month from now is when it's critical to win. And we've got time to grow. Jordan still has time to grow and learn. This is as close to a complete game as we played, Schmitty. I would say it's a complete game minus the quarterback, right? I mean, who else didn't play a complete game in that game? Your special teams, your kicker, your defense, your offensive line, your running game, your receivers blocking. Wicks still has butterfingers a little bit. So it's all there. It's all there in front of us, and Jordan just has to start seeing it and letting it rip again.
So we had some action around the NFC North this week. Caleb Williams threw a couple touchdowns against the Lions, and another loss for the Bears. The Vikings beat the Seahawks in kind of a last-minute fashion. Looked like the Seahawks might have a chance to edge that one out. But I don't want to linger on that too much. I'm already kind of amped up and ready to go for the looming matchup that we have here with the Vikings. I want to spend a little extra time on that. Now, in terms of realistically what this means, maybe it means a 5-6 seed switch, but there isn't a whole heck of a lot on the table from that standpoint. That said, this one feels big. Schmitty, what do you make in terms of psychologically what winning this game might do? If we see this team again in the playoffs, if we see another NFC North team in the playoffs, talk a little bit about the psychology of this matchup.
Yes, I mean Gar talked about a little bit with Jordan Love, about the learning process. What's there to learn? Well, you're about to learn what it is to get yourself involved in very serious playoff matchups. This Sunday game that's coming up is a serious football game. The one we just played, not too serious, Griffey. I think we can all we were all kicked back and relaxed. I was telling some buddies, I mean, this was the last game, Griffey, that I could have 4 fingers and just relax and chill out, put the massager on, have my wife bake me my favorite cookies and, go kumbaya about my day, pet my dog. Now we're in, this is serious business. You got to put the britches on. You got to get ready for big football because it is here. It's present. The Vikings, they offer an array of problems for any team that they go up against. And so we are presented with a big issue on Sunday. And I think when you talk about top to bottom, and you're comparing the two squads, Kevin O'Connell is going to be the coach of the year. Are you guys in agreement there?
Well, I tried to convince my wife, who's a noted Vikings fan, that it was going to be Matt LaFleur. She wasn't going for that one this evening. And
so I mean, we would love to have Matt get the nod, but KOC has done a phenomenal job, and so you're going to see 2 juggernauts go head to head, and I'm looking forward to it.
So for this week, I just want to make it clear, you had the little britches, cookies, and 4 fingers. Next week, we're breaking out the big britches. What are we doing in absence of the cookies and four fingers?
Griffey, I'm going to make a tomahawk steak, okay? It's going to be 3 pounds. It's going to be 2x the size of your head, okay? I'm going to just stare at it. I'm going to cook it rare, all right? And I'm going to enjoy it with 12 fingers. You can't even fathom what 12 fingers looks like in someone's glass, but I can do it. I have a glass for these special occasions, and I'm going to need it because we, you, me, Packers Corner, the faithful, it is time. Kevin Green, it is time. We have big time football in front of us. I'm really excited, but damn, Griffey, am I nervous? I have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, if you're familiar. It's already kicking up. I can feel it now rumbling in my tummy. But I wouldn't want it any other way.
Well, we don't have a choice. We're heading into U.S. Bank one way or another, and we got to give it the best effort there. Dad, you mentioned PA talking about Sam Darnold, Jordan Love comparison there a little bit. I want to get your thoughts. If you had to put it all on the line here this evening, how do you feel about that quarterback matchup? Who you taking and why?
I'll just quickly back up. As for Coach of the Year, I think it comes down to these last two games. The Vikings have every opportunity to lose those two games. The Packers have every opportunity to win those two. And if that happens and Jordan Love looks good, your Coach of the Year should be Matt LaFleur. He's been overlooked year after year after year. He got Aaron Rodgers 2 MVPs. He's been in the playoffs perennially. He's got one of the best all-time records for a coach of his number of years in the league. I think he's only second to George Seifert over there, who took over, when the Niners were in their heyday. So a lot to be determined in the last two games. I don't know if I'm good that I'm talking about this right now tonight, because as I sit here tonight, I have a feeling that Mr. Darnold has the upper hand. And from what I saw tonight, Jordan Love's got a long way to go. Now, here's what gives us hope, and here's why we have a chance. That running game is the real deal, Schmitty. And it's not just our running backs. Our offensive linemen are geared toward running the ball. They got a mean streak in them. They're flying up the field. We've got schemed up runs. Matt LaFleur's bringing motions and switching tendencies, and got a gap scheme and a wide zone and an inside zone. And good Lord, he's got wide receivers. He comes off with the taxi squad guy. Bo Melton is running the ball out there. So Lord knows what he's going to come with. Although I would bet he's going to hold off a little bit at the bank. So if the run game gives us a chance against that highly volatile double-A gap look where they bring guys up and then back them off, and you can gash them in the run and that, boys. And if we're able to do that, get them off balance, and if Jordan is on, then watch out. We got a heck of a chance. I just, for whatever reason, feel like Jordan's going to be better a month from now than he is this week. And I'm not so sure. I don't know what I'm going to pick yet, but I'm leaning that Sam Darnold at the present time has got the hot hand. Now, here's the thing. Sam Darnold's playing with the horseshoe. Let's just call it like Mike Zimmer, right? He goes back, gets sacked, fumbles, falls on the ball every time. They got a deflected ball. It flutters to the ground, barely missed by the defense. His guy gets it. Everything's kind of been falling his way. This season for the Vikings looks a lot like 2022. What did they have? 11 one-possession wins in 2022. They're getting up there this year. And this thing is going to turn at some point, and they're not going to get that one-possession win. Last week was just emblematic. Good Lord. Somehow they get DK Metcalf to decide to stop the game in the middle of the game and not finish an out pattern so they can intercept the ball. Schmitty, if Metcalf just finishes his route, we got a completion and Seattle's marching for the winning points. But no, the Vikings get the horseshoe again. So if they keep the horseshoe, they'll win again this week. If Jordan Love plays the way he's capable, we'll get it done.
Well, if this is indeed a close one-possession score game, the gentleman at the bottom of our screen, number 23, who has been absent for quite some time, might have something to say about it. If you look at that picture closely, can you tell what he's doing there, Schmitty? That is a gritty from our friend number 23. Who's going to be doing the grittying on Sunday? Justin Jefferson or Jair Alexander?
Griffey, if there's a kryptonite for Mr. 18, Justin Jefferson, who is the best receiver, I will, with respect to Jamar Chase, I still want to give the nod to Mr. JJ. I think he is the best ball catcher that we get to watch on Sundays. It would be a fantastic storyline to have Jair come back after 6 weeks of missing football to shut down Justin. Now, I love what Hafley's done the last 2 months of his time here. I think he wanted to bring to the team effort and turnovers. I think that was well stated tonight with Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, and I think he's just done that this year. And so I'm hats off to him. And so I really respect what he's brought to our team. Griffey, we are 1.5 point underdogs right now. I think it's about as close as you can get it. The average loss or average game is decided by 3 points or less. And so 1.5 points, you give the home team, typically it's that 3-point nod in any game. So even Vegas, they don't know where this is going to go. This is a coin flip. You would think at this point that the Vikings have more to play for than we do right now, just because if they win out, that they would get the number 1 seed, which isn't talked about that much still. Everyone thinks that's the Lions. It's a shoo-in that they would get the 1 seed, but the Vikings actually control their destiny. Griffey, I want to put this to rest. I really do. I want people to respect Jordan Love. The organization doesn't pay this man the amount of money that he got if he isn't going to be the guy that transcends the game of football, that is just better than everyone else at it. And I think he has that within him. And this stretch run that we need to go on now, it's required of him. It is required of him to put the city of Green Bay on his back and carry us to another Super Bowl. And I think he has it in him. And I think it starts with a really tough game in Minneapolis. And I think he gets it done, Griffey. He gets it done. We win by 4 points. It's not going to be an easy one. It certainly isn't. We're not going to have the ball to end the game. All right. And we're going to win 27-23 with Justin Jefferson breathing down our neck on a last minute drive. But we are going to get it done, Griffey, much like we did last year. If you watch the tape, we looked really good coming into this house, and we laid our dominance on them. And I think that we have something to show for it, especially with Josh Jacobs. Give Josh Jacobs 25 touches. That's what I'm looking for. That's my key going into Sunday.
Well, and Jair there has practiced 3 weeks in a row and not played. I don't want to cast aspersion here too much. It's been a roller coaster ride for Packers fans with Jair here. It almost feels to me like it would be on brand for him to not play. What do you think the odds are that we see him out there for this win you're predicting, Schmitty?
You know what? Like I said, we have less to play for the rest of the season. We're either the 5 or 6 seed. I don't think we can stoop down to the 7 seed at this point, especially with the Bears being our last game of the season. So if Matt, in every press conference, they ask him, hey, how's Jair doing? Well, we'll see how he does on Friday, and then Matt decides if it's a yay or nay. And so I don't hate it at this point if Jair now sits. He's one of your more tenured defenders, one of your tenured players on the team at this point, being the youngest team in the NFL. I don't want to say that it's the kiss of death to not play him until the playoffs, but you certainly want to see him get some reps in because it's been that long. You saw Luke Musgrave play tonight. It's been a while for him. You just want to get these guys back into the fold. And so I hope we get to see him before we make this playoff run.
I think mathematically there definitely could end up with the 7, but Schmitty's feeling confident. We won't look ahead towards the Bears, but took a blocked field goal last time at their place to get it done. Dad, what are your thoughts on this matchup against the Vikings here?
I'm serious. I don't know whether I got to get the lithium out or call the psychiatrist. I don't. I need to put my jersey over my head, and slap myself around, or what I need to do to get my attitude right here. Take my shirt off.
Schmidt was ready to go at the drop of a hat there.
Oh, he didn't take it off. Oh, no.
I'm the eternal optimist. I mean, I am always thinking of what's optimistic, and I what's going on with Jair? It's the weirdest thing. You haven't heard a word from him. He practices every week. Can you imagine, Griff, being able to run around and practice for 3 weeks and not playing? How would they keep you off the field? I know what kind of ball player you were. Schmitty, I know what you would have done, and I would have, good Lord, you couldn't keep me off that field. So if you can practice a full participant, not 1 week, not 2 weeks, but 3 weeks, I don't know how you keep me off. I keep a guy off. I don't get it. Is there an attitude thing going on with Jair? It seems like this coach speak with LaFleur. Well, we'll see. We'll look at the tape. Is he sending a message to Jair? Is Jair got that attitude going where he was running out to be captain? I mean, I'm just, like I say, my mind is so goofed up on this deal. I don't know what to think of it. If Jair is doing something goofy and they don't want him out there, that's not good for the team.
Well, with all that said, what does it tell you if he doesn't play this week after another week of practice?
Well, here, look, just think of this. Just ponder. He should have been put on IR. He's been out for what, 6 weeks? You put a guy like that on IR. So this thing has not gone the way the team thought. I don't know whether Jair's being a head guy. I hope not. Look, I hope he. But if Schmidt, if you were going to play him this week, next week against Jefferson, you had to get him in tonight to get him some game speed, get him back up to the playing in the NFL. You can't just run out there 1 week and play against Jefferson and be effective. So I don't know how he plays this week. And so I'm just confused about the whole deal. Like I said, I'm just not used to being. I'm always optimistic. I always feeling like we're going to do it. I'm going with the Vikings. I can't even believe it. I want to hit myself. I want to bruise myself. This is not good. I need some kind of medication. I need some treatment here. But I feel the long range picture is very bright. But I think maybe for this week, maybe the purple gets us.
We lose twice to the Vikings. We lose twice to the Lions. It's not possible to lose 3 times to anybody, right? So we just got to find a way to match up with those two again in the postseason. That's all it takes, right? Well, I like Dad, I was ready to pick the Packers here, but now I'm getting more nervous. My wife is too confident about this game. She's sitting there with a smirk watching us play this college team, these third stringers against the Saints, and I think those Viking fans, we hear PA talking about Sam Darnold, and those folks across the river are awfully confident. I can't pick them just because of the biggest factor being the Vikings never actually get it done, right? That's the status quo. Like our good friend Nick Larson in Fantasy Football, Schmitty, who he bucked the trend this evening. Shout out to Nick, making the fantasy championship. I think he's done that before. We've had a league since we were about in middle school, and he's never won the championship, and he's headed back for a chance this year. But much like the Vikings in the 70s, he's not going to get it done. And the Vikings aren't going to get it done this year either, and they aren't going to get it done this week. Packers find a way, and then maybe we do it again to them in the postseason. That's what I'm hoping for, gentlemen.
Okay, before we're done, I changed my pick. I'm on the Packers.
Let's go.
Can't do
Clean
this
sweep.
anymore. I can't do this. I can't. I cannot do it.
This nonpartisan, level-headed, objective podcast where we just look at the matchups and tell you how it is and how it's going to be. We would never let our heart weigh in on these decisions, and that's why when you take a look at our records here, we've been able to have a pretty good good run of things when picking these NFC North games. So, gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be with you on Christmas Eve here. I want to give you a chance to leave our Packers Corner faithful with any closing thoughts here. Schmitty, what do you have?
Yes, Griffey. Again, Merry Festivus to all those that celebrate. I certainly am one. Remember, it's not about the presents, the amount of presents that are under the Christmas tree come Christmas Day. It's about the people that you get to share time and space with. And so when you look around the dinner table, maybe you're going to go to church or what have you. Appreciate these good times. Appreciate the Packers with another playoff berth. These are special moments. I think about my dad and our relationship as it comes to the Packers and what that means at the dinner table for family functions. And so appreciate these times because they don't last forever. And I hope that Jordan Love and company, he can make this season one of those memorable trips, and I think he has it in him. So Merry Christmas to everyone, the Packers Corner faithful. I absolutely adore each and every one of you.
Thank you, Schmitty and Dad. Wrap it up for us here.
Wasn't it the immortal words of Saint Francis of Assisi over there in Italy, in the Lombardy region of Italy, that said, "And it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are reborn to eternal life." And I've got the port wine. Where is it here? There it is. Purple cheese. And I got the purple wine, and hopefully I'm going to be celebrating that after Christmas, after a nice Christmas celebration next week. And I won't be in the loony bin trying to figure out this team. Jordan Love, you're on watch. Let's raise that game up to where we know we're not asking you to do anything special. Just do what you're capable of. And you're going to have a bounce back game. And we'll have a wonderful Christmas.
No purple rain this time of year, maybe a little purple snow and a tear or two streaming down the cheeks of the Vikings faithful next week. I hope
Purple
to be back
wine.
here. Yeah, that as well. I hope to be back here with you both to relish in it all next week. Merry Christmas and have a great evening.